Welcome to the section 3 of our course, Dockercompose. In this section, we are going to take a look at Dockercompose, how to use Compose, Dockercompose file, and the command line. So let's get started. In our section 3.1, we are going to discuss what is Dockercompose and Dockercompose.yml file. Let's get started. What is Dockercompose? Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. With Compose, you use a Compose file to configure your application's service. Then, using a single command line, you create and start all the services from your configuration. What is very handy. Imagine you have a WordPress you need a web server and you need a database. So you need two containers. And using Dockercompose, with one command line, you can start two containers. In other words, you don't need to do docker run -d my database and then docker run -d my nginx or my Apache or my hub proxy. So it's a very handy tool. But if you are running Docker for Mac or Docker for Windows, you don't need this step. But if you are running Docker on Linux, you need to download and install Dockercompose using these two commands. We are going to do this now. So let's go to the command line. First of all, I need to move to root, and then I have to download this file. Good, I download the file, and now I have to grant permission to execute for this file, and then I'm leaving the root path. So if I do Dockercompose, I'm going to get this result. So the API is similar to the Docker API, but we are going to see more about the API in the next video. So now I'm going to focus on Dockercompose. So let's create our first compose file. So first of all, you need to create a file called docker-compose.yml. So it should be a YAML file. And Dockercompose has many versions, so we would like to use the latest version, that it's version 3. So you have to specify the version that you want to, top of the file, so I want version 3. And then you can specify the services that you want to. For our example, I want to have a web server, and I want to use the image nginx Alpine, the one that we are using a lot in our course. And also, I want to allow access. I want to expose the port 80. So you can have many ports here, but in our case, I just want to expose the port 80. And just keep in mind, you have to keep some spaces here because this is a YAML. So you should have at least two space, and 3 space. So just keep in mind that. So now we can save our file, and we have a file here. And I want to start our container. So we can use Dockercompose app, like Docker, and I want to keep the services running in the background. So I should run -d. As soon as I press enter, Dockercompose is going to create my compose job. So in this case, it's Dockercompose web 1, and it's running. So how can I see Dockercompose PS? I can see that my nginx is running. So if I curl now, curl localhost, I'm going to get the results. And this is a very handy thing. So you can have many other containers running on this compose file, and it's very short. Let's go back to our slides. And yeah, we already explored the Dockercompose file.